new feature that has been added to our operation systems is a timeline view of order planning. This view gives a more calendar or Gantt chart look to the tractor section of order planning. Here you see we've got some information about tractor and trailer and driver, and then we also have a calendar view of days. So we have Saturday and Sunday and Monday. And then here we see that we can set the calendar view begin days, how far back we want to look to start our calendar view. In this case we chose 3 days, so it goes back to the 21st. Today is the 24th, and you can tell what today is based on this dotted line here. And then we can see how far into the future we also want to go, and that allows us to go forward looking for pre-assignments. We have a zoom level which says, okay, how detailed do I want to see this? If I change the zoom level up to say 200%, then you'll see a larger view of the time range here. Let's go back to our 100% view level. We also have a time interval, whether we want these to be on 8-hour increments or 4-hour increments or larger increments, 12 or 24 hours. So here now you see this on a 12-hour increment. This timeline view is added with a command button to the new order planning called Timeline. If you hit the Timeline button, it would switch back to the traditional view of the grid. Click the Timeline button again, and you go back to the calendar view. If we look at what's on the calendar view, that will help us determine some of the features available. There are 4 main items that show up on the calendar view. The first one would be load assignments or current movements. Here we see something in orange which indicates an in-progress move. If the move was late, it would be a different color. By putting our mouse on there, we can see the detail about this particular order. It gives us some information about the shipper and the consignee, how many stops, and some miles. We also have the ability to double-click that and go back to the movement screen. Here will be the movement screen for that order. In addition to seeing movements in progress, we'd also see movements that are delivered. Those show up in gray, as we see here. So if I highlight one of the gray moves, it would also show me information about that movement. Another item we see are events. Here we have a vacation event that's been approved, and that shows the duration of that vacation event. We also have the ability to see the PTA of the driver here with a green arrow. If we highlight that, we'll see the information about that. We could also double click it and be able to change the PTA event. So let's do that, and we'll move it forward a couple hours. And the green arrow will move forward. The line here represents now. We see the solid line here. That indicates current date and time. If we highlight an order here, we'll see that the dashed line indicates the start scheduled time of this load. That gives us an indication of which driver might be free during the start of this load. So if we had 10 or 12 drivers here, we could click this line and see not only the start time but also an end time of when that load picks up and delivers, to see which drivers we have available for that time slot. This calendar view is a great feature for short haul drivers where they pre-assign multiple assignments. The fourth feature that shows up on the timeline grid is tractor or trailer messages. So here we see that we have a tractor message and what the message is. Going back and looking at this view, you'll notice that this particular bar will move left or right. So you can choose the columns that you want to display in the left-hand column based on your grid configuration, and then move the calendar across. If you have multiple monitors, obviously the calendar will scroll across multiple screens. Additionally, we added the ability to see all the information about an individual truck in our truck display grid here. So as you highlight a different tractor, their information, individual information, would show across the bottom here. Again, you can save the configuration of this particular line item to show you which fields you would be most concerned with as you scroll through your drivers. The options for using timeline with the calendar begin and end, the zoom levels, and the time interval are all saved on your order planning profile. So if we look at the filter here, we can see that there's a new section called Calendar Section, which allows you to choose those options. We also have a new default view option to be based on a calendar, the horizontal or the vertical traditional grid methods.